are doing like a network penetration test, if you hack into a Windows machine and you need to like escalate privileges within that network, you might start hacking from your victim, which is on that Windows machine. So it's very good to always know to have a deep knowledge of operating systems and to get started with operating system knowledge. I think Linux is a very good way to start. And the Linux distribution that we'll be focusing on is Kali Linux. Kali Linux is a Linux distribution. It's Debian based, and you can mute your mics if you don't have anything to say right now. Just unmute yourself when you want to speak, so like there won't be sound interference. Then Kali Linux, like I said, is a pen testing environment, is a penetration testing environment. It comes with a lot of hacking tools, which makes it very easy for you to get started as a hacker. You don't need to worry about starting a lot of tools, installation and stuff. So without further ado, we'll get started now. I'll be sharing my screen. If you are having problems seeing my screen, please just speak up so I'll know where to start from. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, that's good. So what we'll start from today is our terminal, our Kali Linux terminal. If you're on Kali or you're on Ubuntu, just look for this icon, your terminal emulator, and click on it to take you to your terminal. Okay. First of all, you want to know more stuff about your operating system. If you want to know what distro you're using, just do lsb_release-a. That's where you see the Linux distribution you are using and stuff. So another thing you can do is check, if you want to check like what's your operating system, your kernel specifications, your CPU and stuff, you can just do OS release, cats etc/OS release. So it tells you what operating system you are using. This is my distro, Debian, then other stuff. So let's get into how we can get started with it. I think first of all, when you jump on any operating system, whether Windows, Android, Linux, the things you want to interact with mostly are files. Like for Linux or operating systems in general, everything is a file. That's one thing we should know first. Everything is a file. From what you are seeing on your screen, the programs you are seeing on your screen, to what you are clicking on your keyboard and it's showing back, those processes that make sure those things show, everything is treated as a file. It is all written programs in your system. So think of everything as a file. So if normally Windows starts from your terminal starts from your home directory, but that's not where I would want us to look at first. So if you're on your Linux machine, just type this. We'll know the meaning of CD very soon. Just do this, then we can start looking at files from here. This is what we call our roots directory. And these are different directories. Directories is just the equivalent of what we call folders on Windows. So we'll start with how we can navigate the Linux file system. Our first command I'll be learning for today is called pwd, print working directory. So when you run pwd on your system, it shows you the directory that you are. And this now is called the root directory. It's the first folder on the system. If you want to go to your root directory graphically, open your file manager. And this is your root system. Go to our system. You notice bin, boot, dev, etc, home, everything that you have on your terminal now can be shown here. So that's how it works. The terminal and the graphical user interface are mostly the same thing. It's just that the terminal is easier to navigate through and faster when working on Linux or working with tools. And sometimes you might be in a situation where you don't even have access to a graphical user interface. So you need to get used to the terminal if you want to be a Linux user. So um, before we start, I would like us to go into our home directory, which is this. To change directories, there's a command for that. It's called cd, which means change directory. So now cd into home. So I'm in my home directory. I can print working directory again. You can see it says /home. That is the folder that I am now. If I want to do the equivalent of that on my graphical user interface, I just say come here, then I double click into home. That's just how it works. So I'm in my home. It's the same way. CD is just entering inside that folder, like I just did now on the graphical user interface. So you CD into home. Are there any questions yet? Is everyone with me? Are you getting it right? Okay. Another command that we'll learn now is ls, which is to list all directories or files that are in that particular directory that we are in. While in the home directory, which is the home folder or directory means the same thing, like I said. Then this is when you're in your home directory, show it as a folder for all users on the system. As you can see, the user that I'm logged in as now is called bug key. That's my own home directory. All my files that I kept in all my files are always stored here. All files for this user will be in his home directory. So the CD change directory is what I use to navigate into any file or folder that I want to go into. So let me CD into bug. Okay, you can press the tab key. So when you just type the beginning of a folder, you don't need to always type in full. The tab key and you are inside where you want to be. Makes things faster that way. So I'll run ls again. Ls makes you see all the files and folders there. Then there's an option that you can use with ls stack a. This makes you see hidden folders. You can see hidden files and folders. And a hidden folder or file starts with a full stop. That's how you know that something is hidden on Linux. So you have some stuff that are hidden, you have some stuff that you can see. So far, we've learned how to print our working directory, which shows the directory that you are in, to change directories, and to list files and folders in the directory. So next on our list, we'll talk about creating files on Linux. If you want to create a file, you use the touch command. That's the next command we are learning. So in fact, let me go into a folder where I not have much stuff so you can see the difference. Let me see into my music. You can see there's nothing here. Let's say I just want to like create a text file sharp that I want to write something in. I can just be like touch stuff.txt, and if I run ls, I have that already. That's what this command does. It creates files for you. You can just be touch hello. I can name my file hello, and it has created that file for me. That's what this command does. So that's what the touch command does. It creates files. Then the next um, stuff we'll be learning is how to copy stuff. So another thing, normally on your Windows system, in fact, to understand this better, I think I should just go to my Windows File Explorer. I can just say, okay, this file here. I can, where is this? How now they copy for Windows? I'm sorry, I'm not that used to Windows like that, Sha. So can copy here and just or the equivalent of that is just doing this copy stuff and I move it to my desktop folder. I can say I move this Kali Linux installer here. So that's the equivalent of that copy. For example, now let's say I want to copy a file. Let me go back to my home directory. If you want to go back to your home directory, just cd. You don't need to add any arguments to it. Let's say what file here? This local.txt now. Let's say I want to copy it into documents. I'll just do cp, that's the command for copying, then local.txt to documents. Like I said, the tab command can be used to like complete stuff. You don't really need to type in full all the time on Linux. If I go into my documents folder now, I will find out local.txt. I copied it into it. That's how it works. And there's a way to look at folders in Linux. There is what we call an absolute path. If you print working directory, it shows you your absolute path, which is home, then your user, then wherever you are at that moment. Your print working directory shows you your absolute path. Then a relative path simply means the paths where you are trying to go to relative to where you are now. And first of all, the directory you are in is regarded with just one dot. If I say a dot, that means I'm talking about the directory I'm at. If I put two dots, it means I'm trying to go back to the previous directory. For example, now cd dot dot takes me back to the home directory where I was. So instead of me saying cd/home/bokeh, does that dot dot takes me back. So for example, let me cd into stuff that I have here, ls cd forensics, ls again. Normally, if I print my working directory, it will say this is where I am. If I want to copy files from bokeh here, which is two directories apart, instead of me saying, okay, copy, instead of me saying cp stuff, then any file that is here, instead of me doing all that long stuff, what I can do is that, okay, I'm going two folders behind, 1 and 2. I use the dot dot for the first one. The dot dot represent the next one. It already knows where I am. I am that way. You understand? This is everything in my home direction. I can copy it here. I hope everyone is following, Sha. So that's how you copy stuff. Then there's the move command to move files around the system. Copy and move actually do different stuff. Move takes it takes the file away from where it used to be before permanently. Move can be used to move stuff permanently. For example, let's say I want to move stuff from my home directory, which is /home/ okay. Let's say this local.txt file. And I want to move it here. Like I said, relative parts, I can just use a full stop to signify, okay, this directory that I am currently, I don't need to call the full directory name, forensics, where I am right now. Just that dot takes it back to where I am. So now if I go back to my home directory, I won't find that local.txt file again. If there's anything you're not getting, well, you can just ask me questions and I'll be able to explain better. Check it out. The local.txt that was there before is no more there. This one is local.txt.1. This is another file. So, and you can actually copy folders. There's an option you use for that. It's called TAC-R. That's recursive copying. So for example, let's say I want to copy this whole Python files folder to downloads. I just need to put the TAC-R to specify that as a folder that I'm copying. And that's copied into my downloads folder. If I ls downloads, you'll be able to see it there. Where's the Python files? It's the one here. Okay, so that's how that works. I think for now we can see little on how to like navigate the file system. So change your directory, you use the cd command, which is equivalent to you just entering a folder on your graphical system. What I did is the equivalent of cd right now. If I right click and I say open, that's the equivalent of what CD does. So if I come here now and I say, okay, if I come to this place and I say create folder, let me call it new, you can see the folder I just created here. The equivalent of that now is mkdir, which means make directory. You can call it new 2. That's a new folder I'm making. If I list all the files and folders there, you can see the new one that I just made from my terminal. That's a new folder. This is one that I made from the GUI, from the graphical user interface. So that's how you make folders or directories on your terminal, on your graphical user interface. So another one is the find command, but I'd like us to come back at this because, let's check it out now. If you want to look for a particular file now, let's sharply look for something that I know where it is at though. Let me see the answer to this. Let me look for a file. Okay, you remember that local.txt file that we created? Let's say we want to find a file that is named local.txt on our system. We can just run find, then we say find definitely is just used to look for a particular file or stuff. So local.txt, you can see it will tell you where that file is at. But the way find works is that it checks from, if you don't specify where you should start finding from, it checks right from where you are that moment. I remember where we are is our working directory, home/bucket. So it will check from here forward down to anywhere. It won't check home. It won't check the root directory. It will check where you are. If you wanted to check the root, you start to specify find from here. But it might give you errors because normally you need permissions to check stuff for that. So we'll come back to this find command after we've learned some more stuff. So we'll learn how to use it better. I use clear if your terminal is too bogus. Use it to change stuff. So a lot of times, like when you're on the penetration testing engagements or you're doing ethical hacking, you need many terminals at a time. So that's why it's good to always have a terminal emulator, which makes you able to create many terminal instances at the same time. You can be doing something on one terminal, then shift to the other one, start another process, stuff like that. So the terminal emulator that comes with Kali Linux is called Tmux. So once I type in Tmux and I press enter, Tmux starts working. It tells you the kind of shell you are using. You can see here, this is my terminal instance of 0. This is the first one. It's called Z shell. Z shell means ZSH means Z shell. On Linux, there are different kinds of shells. There's Bash, there's Z shell. You can just do your research and understand shells better. So if you want to create another shell instance, you just do your Control B, then C. It takes you to C. That's the one. This star here now indicates that, okay, you're in the terminal instance of 1. Let me type something here so you can see. If I want to go back to the previous one, I do Control B, then 0. Control B, then 0. It takes me back to this 0, 1. So I can be doing stuff here and I just go back to my second one, do something, create a new one with Control B, C. That's how you do stuff on the terminal. So please, is everyone following? I hope everyone is getting me because it looks like I'm just speaking to myself. Is everyone following?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Are you getting it, please, Marvin?
Yeah, sure. Although not
Okay.
entirely, I'm
Okay,
getting
what's the issue?
I'm getting most of it. You can go on.
Okay, that's cool.
The only thing I'm having issues is just some big grammars that I'm not familiar with, but I'm checking them online as you're speaking, so you can go on.
Okay. Are you on your own Linux machine? Are you trying out stuff as I'm doing it?
My system cannot uh, run that. That's
Okay,
really my issue. That's why I'm not.
maybe that's why
It's been out now. I'll test it out.
sorry, I want to deliver as best as possible, but just have in mind that I do this as my day job. It's not as if like I've really taught people how to do this. So I'm a noob at teaching, but I want to deliver well. So if you're not getting something, just let me know. I'll try to explain as good as possible. So let's like engage and learn together. I don't just want to be talking and people are not grabbing. You understand? So if you're on your own machine and you're doing it, that's best. But if not, and you're still not getting what I'm, if you're not on your machine and you still want to get something, just talk and I'll let you know. I'll explain better. Thank you, Marvin. So that's how you change different terminal instances. So you can also delete stuff, or let me say remove files, because in the end you can't actually delete stuff from your computer system, but that's beyond the scope of what we're trying to learn here. There's the rm command, which means remove. For example, now let's create a file. We remember touch now. Touch. Let's just do any funny name, and it has created a file. You can see that, yeah, HAF Kinicom. So you just do RM, then H, whatever that thing is, and it is gone. That file, you can't see it on your system again. The HA something something file is gone. That's what the RM does. You can use it to delete folders too, but you will need two options with it, RM, RF. So the folder I'm trying to remove now is the new, and that's gone. I can remove that one that we made not long ago.
So I have a
New
question though.
two. All right. What's the question?
If if you delete like a file or a directory, can you still have access to it? Like for the Windows now, you can still get them from like recycle bin.
Okay. Yes. If you delete it graphically on Linux, yes, just like the way Windows works too. For example, now let me do this. To say instead of the normal delete that it says, it's to say move to trash. That's the equivalent of recycle bin on Windows. But if you use the RM command in your terminal, it's gone. You can't retrieve it normally again. It's not going to be retrievable. So if you are going to delete a folder from your terminal, it doesn't go to your trash, which is the equivalent of recycle bin. It just leaves your system straight up. So that's how that works. Then um, we've done a little about file navigation. We'll go. If we need to go back to it as time goes on, if there's anything we've not touched, I'll go back. Especially that find command. I want us to learn a few things. Then we'll know how to use the find command better. We need to understand files actually in a better form. So now what we've learned is how to navigate through files. To change directory into a folder, you just do this, and that works. See, you so want to go back behind, you go just a double dot, and that works. You want to list folders in that directory, use the ls command, that works. So far I think that's all we need to know, and how to delete stuff. So the next, we'll be talking about text files. So normally, if you're a hacker, you deal with a lot of text files because you download scripts online from GitHub, you write your own scripts sometimes. So or you retrieve text files from your target system. So you deal with like reading text files on your system or writing text files. So how do you open a text file? For example, which text files do I have? If I go into, let's see, my notes now, There's this linux.md now is a text file. If I want to read a text file, how do I do that? If I want to read it into my terminal, I want to output it, we use the cat command. So if I say cat linux.md, you can see it shows everything here. If I say cat windows.md, it shows everything there. So that's what cat does. It opens the
Okay.
whole text file and shows everything that is inside. That's what cat does.
It
But
returning
okay,
it the content that is inside the file, like what is
what
returning?
what do you say?
What what is returning on the terminal? Is it like the contents that
The contents of,
are
yeah, of that file,
the file?
yeah, is a
Oh,
text file.
okay.
So
All right. All
it's
right.
just like normal stuff that you write. Maybe you've written stuff on your notepad on Windows, or if you are someone that codes, you've written some piece of code and you save it. That's just what it does. But this one outputs it to your terminal instead of opening like a text processing app like Notepad or Visual Studio Code. If you want to just output that piece of text into your terminal, use the cat command. So that's just what it does. Then sometimes you have like a text file that is really long and you don't want to look at everything at once. You just want to see, okay, like the first 15 lines, that stuff is there. There's to make it shorter, there's something we call less. So what less does is, for example, that windows.md file that I opened now, I'd use less. It will not open it to the terminal in like the usual way cat does. It just shows like the first like lines that will cover your screen. Then use
Okay.
your arrow button, your down arrow, to look through. Okay, if now let's say you've seen what you want now, just press Q and it exits it. So that's what less does. It doesn't output everything out.
Okay.
Then if you just sorry, we're trying to say something.
Yeah, I want to ask, like, for the cards, is it limited to some particular file extension? You know, like, is it
Actually,
just certain files that you can use the cards to open?
no, actually, there's no limits because if you look at it in the end, if you talk about files, almost everything is a text file. Everything in general, even your videos, your pictures are text files
Yeah.
in the end because some piece of data is still on everything. That's what your computer understands. The video that you're watching on your computer is a binary file. It has binaries, stuff written in binary that only your computer can understand. So it's not just human readable, but it still has some piece of text in it. So for example, now let's say I think in my downloads folder, I have a zip file. Yes, I have a zip file there. Normally, zip is not human readable, but it still has some piece of text in it. So that cat will show anything that thing has. For example, now let me see this ccp dom.zip. This is binary stuff. We can't understand it, but cat will still show it because this is binary data that is embedded into that file. So cat will show anything because in the end, everything still has a piece of text in it. But we don't use cats for stuff like this. We use it on text files because we don't want to read binary data. We can't understand it. Only the computer can. Is that clear, bro?
Fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah. So the less two does what's almost exactly like cats. But what less does is it allows us to look through whatever file it is. For example, now if I want to see, okay, which one here is like a text file? This readme, I don't know what it is. Let's check it out. Let's readme. It's just going, okay, this one is not even that heavy. So it allows you to scroll down to what's, let's say this 5. Instead of outputting everything to your terminal, you just use your arrow to go down that file. So it's used for long files. You just want to be scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down. But if you just want to see what is at the top of that file, a good way to do that is with the head command. You look for your text file and you just do head. It will show only the top. just the top of what's there. You can see this is just like the first 7 lines or so of what's on that file. But if you want to specify, okay, I want to see the first 15 lines, there's an option you use, and it is head tag n. You understand? Let's say 15 lines of whatever text file you're trying to see. You use this option tag n, then the number is specified. This will show you the first 15 lines. You can see 1, 2, 3. It's definitely 15. The computer cannot be wrong. Let's not waste time counting. So that's what it does. But sometimes too, you will know that okay, whatever I want to read on this file is from the bottom. You don't need to read everything in full. Just like head works, there's an equivalent of it. It's called tail. So this same file that we saw the top of it, you just come here, it shows the bottom of whatever is there. You understand? So that's how it works. If I want to see the last 20 lines, all I need to do is that same way Ed works, tag n, then 20, then whatever the file name is. And that's how it works. So are we good on the basics of handling text files?
Yes, sir.
All right. Me, I know be Sal. Me, I be your guy. Please, I deal with you, brother. So we've seen how we can read files. The way we can read files is with cards, less, head, tail. That is, it goes back to what we call reading. Because if you look at files, I want us to think of files as 3 things. Every file can do 3 things. You can read a file. You can see that every file has piece of text, even binary data, compiled code. You can always read it. So whatever it is, whether is your Netflix app that is on your computer, don't worry, it is still piece of text. It still has, you can perform a read option on action on it. So you can read a file, then you can write to a file. You can write stuff from the as basic as you just writing a Microsoft Word. In your Microsoft Word, that's writing. So you writing code. So you writing binary data into a file. Everything is still a write operation. You can write, and you can also execute files. Execute is now okay when you run programs on your system. So now we'll be looking at how we can write into files. So the most basic way, if you a lot of Linux system administrators, hackers, software engineers write files. So and one popular tool amongst Linux users is Vim. And for some reason, some people feel that's the best text editor. But me, I use Visual Studio Code because I don't like stress. But command line junkies will prefer to use Vim. So just to know the basics of Vim is good enough. So what Vim does is in your terminal, it just opens a text file for you. You can write stuff. So let's say now I want to quickly write a list of targets that I want to scan. I can just do Vim. Okay, I've not done something like this before. Vim targets.txt. Now, I've not even created a file called targets.txt. This is just from my command history. But now it's going to create that file for me, and the action I'm performing now is a write is to write into that file. So let's say temp.10.10.10. Sorry, when you run your Vim finish, let me start from the beginning again. You remember, if you are with me now doing what I'm doing, you do Vim, then whatever you want to name that file that you're writing into, you perform that, you press your enter. This is where it will take you to. I'm pressing my keyboard now. Nothing is working. Nothing is meant to work. No, oh shit, I pressed that key again. Normally, nothing will work. Is meant to work normally, if not because I've
Please,
written again. Let me
please
exit Vim.
repeat the command
Okay,
that Vim. I can't get it
Vim.
very well.
Okay,
Vim.
Vim. Stay with me. Then whatever you want to name your file, bro. Please, I would like you to like give me an idea. What should I name the next file? Let's say something. Are you with me?
Okay, you said Vim.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
it
yeah,
for?
yeah. You propose a file name. Is to write into files. Is to
Okay, let me
edit
say,
files. It's like a
okay, let's say Wale
okay,
is the file name.
Wale. Okay,
Yes.
Wale. That's the name of our file now. Vim Wale. Now want to write. This Vim just works like your notepad, like your VS Code for people that code. So when you do Vim Wale and you press enter, it will take you to the Vim environment. This is our text editor. So if you now want to write, the option for that is I, which means insert. You understand? Now with the I flag now, you can see after I pressed I, it allows me to insert. You can see my mouse hovering on that insert. Now we're in like the mode where we can write into files. Now anything I type now will show on my screen. You understand? So let's say
Okay.
we write Wale in our boss now into the file. It has I'm writing, but I still need to save, right? If you want to save, you press your escape key first on the top left of your keyboard. You press escape, then colon, use colon, WQ, then exclamation mark. Can you see it now? This is how you save on Vim. You press escape to exit the insert mode, which is where you're writing. Now you're in command mode. When you press escape and you press the colon, you're in command mode. And the command to exit is Q, but to save is W, which means write. So you WQ, then exclamation mark to save and exit at the same time. So now it has saved that file. Wale, we've written into it, we've we've saved it and we've exited Vim.
Can,
So
uh,
okay, someone's trying to say something. Okay,
can you
so
please explain how to save?
how to? Excuse me, I didn't get
How,
what you said.
I said, can you explain the command when you want to save a file?
When you want to do what the file, please can you speak louder? I'm not hearing you well. I'm sorry. Or maybe it's my volume that
Uh,
is not loud.
to,
All right, speak. Let me hear you.
to save a file.
To save a file. Okay. From your terminal. Hmm? Boss, I didn't get you correctly. What do you mean by save a file? Do you mean like from your terminal?
I think the question he asked is how can you save a file using Vim from the terminal?
Okay, okay. Is Q is to leave, W is to save. So let's say Vim, that our text file, Wale. Now, what you just do is you enter command mode. How do you enter command mode? Is to put your right colon, shift, then colon. That's how you write colon on your screen. It's command mode. And to save is W, which means write. Then you put your exclamation mark, then you enter. But you will still be here. You understand? So most times you don't just save, you save and exit Beam at the same time. Because when you're saving, yeah, it means you are done writing whatever you want to write. So if I go back, I insert while in our boss. Yes, I put yes beside it. I go to escape back, then I do this, which is command mode, then put W, then exclamation mark. It has saved it, but I'm still in Vim. So a lot of times when I'm done, I'm just saving and exiting at the same time. If you want to exit, just do the Q and like this. But this will not save. For example, let me write some piece of text after this yes. Then try to exit. Exit is just ordinary Q. It will exit. But if I read what is in Wale now, you can see that that piece of text that I wrote after is no more there because it wasn't saved in the first place. So save is W, Q is exit. So anytime you put in a command, you just put an exclamation mark behind it and press enter. That's how Vim works. If you're on your system, you can try it out fast now.
Please, you said
Okay.
W is to save, Q is to exit.
Yes.
What was the function of that
Yes.
exclamation mark that is to follow it?
Exclamation mark is to show that it is a command. That's the end of that line. Your
Oh, okay.
colon first puts you into command mode. Then whatever action you're trying to perform. Are you trying to quit? Are you trying to write or save, as we call it? W, But if you are trying to perform multiple actions at once, you can do that like at the same time. For example, WQ exclamation mark. That means you are saving and exiting at the same time.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, that's good. So we've seen the most basic form of writing into files with Vim, and we've seen how we can read files, how we can read less of a file. There's another one too, more. More outputs more stuff, but it works just like less. Let me look for a really long text file. I think.
Hello, just before you go on, the
Okay.
less that you use in reading files,
Mhm.
is it that when
Yes.
you have much text that is much
Yes.
that it cannot be
Yeah.
shown on the page at once, will you be
It,
pressing the down key to show
yes.
more of it?
Yes. You just keep
Okay.
scrolling down with your down key. Then, if you
Okay.
now want to exit that
You
text that
press
you're
Q.
seeing, you just press Q. Yeah.
Yes.
Are you on
Mm.
your system now?
Yes, I'm on my system, but I can't
Okay, you're trying it out,
navigate
Abby.
actually. I
Try it
need to
out quick.
understand. Okay, I can. No problem. I will do that one. That one is
Is it working?
continue. Yes, it's
All
working.
right, that's cool. That's cool. So there's a different one too. The opposite of less, more. Let's see how that works. Let me check. I think I have a note here. So more. There's a text file here, memory forensics. See, so this one takes you like it opens more stuff than less. If I do less, then see, less is taking me small. You understand? But more has opened like a lot of stuff already. Then takes me to the bottom on just one down key. You understand? If I run more, and another way to navigate through your terminal, if you want to see your previous commands, just use your up arrow key to show you previous commands you've done. If you want to see the most recent ones, you press your down command back from where you were. It takes you back. You understand? As I work. So if I want to go back to more than this, you can see just on one, see 48%. It's showing 48% of the whole file. That's almost half of it. Just once more, just one more down key, and I've gotten to the bottom. So more outputs, more of the file at the same time. You understand? It's just the less will be bringing it small. You'll be scrolling through it, but more shows like close to half of it at once. Then on just one move scrolling down, it takes you straight down. So more outputs, more of that file. You can use less and more interchangeably. It depends on the context you're trying to use. You can use less when you want to follow a file slowly, read line by line. You understand? That's how they all work. So we've seen how we can output text files. Then another thing I would like us to look at is the grep command. Grep, it stands for I think global regular expression or something. Quick one. There are some things that will help you with commands on Linux. Let's say you've forgotten a command. There's a tool or a command, and you want to learn how to use it again. There's what we call man, like the command manual, MAN. Understand? Now let's say CD now. I want to know more about CD. It shows me the manual of CD. How will you say this? Let me look for another command. Man ls. You understand? Now it's showing list directory contents. Then it shows options you can use with ls. You understand? This is how you can learn more about like a command. Let's say you've forgotten something. But if you want to exit from this manual page, you use Q. You can also do -- help. That works too. It shows you. And if you want to scroll up while you're using Tmux, if you're on Tmux right now, use Control B, then this character. Let me see
Hello,
this.
hello.
And yeah, what's up?
Well, she said if I want to know about a particular command when I use man
Yes.
cd, what if I use dash f? Will I put cd as in the command follows immediately, or it's going to display
No,
the
if
option?
it's -help, the command
Okay,
comes first. CLS now, -- help. You
okay,
understand?
good.
It's but if it is man you are using to know more, use man comes first. Man ls. You feel
Okay,
me?
okay, 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 okay.
So and there's also which will just give you a quick description of whatever that command is. Which ls. You understand? Or let me look for something else. Which pwd. Sorry, yeah, shall be it, which doesn't really show is what is. Sorry, what is find, search for files in a directory hierarchy. So you can just use that sharp. What is nmap? You understand? Network exploration tool and security port scanner. So what is will tell you. Is the call still on, please? Is everyone here? I'm not hearing anything. Okay, it's on. So and there is which if you want to know where a command resides. Sorry, is that sorry, not which I've forgotten. Let me check. Is it which? Yes, yes. If you are using a tool and you want to know where the binary of that tool is stored, you use which. Which also works for that. Which nmap, which Python. It will tell you where that command resides. And so, in fact, is I forgot that I've not finished one instance before I ran first. So that's how you can learn more about commands. So now we will be looking at grep. What grep does is it looks, you tell it, okay, inside this file, this is a piece of text I'm looking for. Then it outputs that line. So remember that our file, Wale, where is it? Is it in downloads? Where did we? Yes, it's here. Wale. So we can just say grep boss. Remember there was a piece of text called boss in Wale.
Yes, you said one is a boss or something. Yes.
Okay, so what we can do is cat Wale, which will show us whatever is in Wale. That's what it does. So there's what we call a pipe character. What this pipe character does is your command, if you look at it, it does three things. It takes inputs from you, from your keyboard, then it processes it in your CPU. Then sometimes most times it returns outputs back to your screen. For example, this ls was our input. The CPU processed the ls command. Then it outputted the result of ls here to our screen. So
Okay.
there's a character called the pipe character. So what pipe character does is whatever this ls now is releasing, we'll pipe it as data into the next command. So the pipe character now, grep.
Oh,
Normal ls now will show us all
it's,
the files.
it's
Inside those
released.
files now, we have something called readme.
Okay.
So if I just say ls normally is meant to return to our screen, but I don't want it to return everything to our screen. It's returning
Before,
everything into this pipe character. It's carrying everything as data. Then
oh,
I'll now say grep. Grep is used to pick out a particular word or piece of characters from a collection of characters. Does that make sense?
yes, yes, it makes sense.
Okay.
In fact,
So
it makes the work easier.
yes, so what I've done now is, yeah, there's a file called readme here. If I'm not sure that, okay, this readme is in this downloads directory, instead of me looking through everything, I'll just say ls, then pipe the output of ls, then grep it. Grep will pick that out. So just readme. So look for what bears readme and check it out. So I highlight it in red. You understand?
Okay.
Remember that file, Wale, that says Wale is a boss. We'll cut it out. Instead of it returning all the output of that file to our terminal, it is outputting it into the pipe character, which is this character that we added to it. Then we'll say grep. Remember we wrote boss inside. Boss. It will grep the whole line that says boss, where that boss line exists. If I wrote boss on 10 different lines, it will catch out those 10 different lines, but highlight boss in red. Whatever I put there, to highlight it in red. So That's how grep works. On a low, that's how it works. There's still better ways you can use grep. There's what we call regular expressions. For example, there's the one called star. Star means everything that has, it's just like a placeholder. Let me quickly use it in context here. ls grep. If I want to use, I can say I have a couple of files that have this .ovpn extension. They are VPN files. If I want to see all the VPN files I have, I cannot start saying grep kinikon.ovpn, grep something.ovpn, grep some. No, that would take too long. Star is like a universal character. It says, okay, star. Just think of star as all, everything. Those are like aliases of star. Star is used to pick up everything. So if I say star.ovpn, it's saying everything.ovpn. Abi? I'm sorry, is this how this is meant to work?
I believe after the ls, there's supposed to be a file name there.
ls? No.
Okay.
You can just you use ls to list directories, not files.
Okay, to
You can
this
put a
direction.
directory
Okay,
name. Yeah,
I
like
can.
if you can say ls, then put a directory name beside it, provided that directory is inside the
So it's going to list
current
all the
directory.
directories in download in this case.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
ls, yeah. So if I do ls start um grep star.txt. It will show all the .txt files that I have. Star means all. Let me create another txt file. Stuff. And always know that there are a lot of commands. You can't put many arguments at the same time. Something like touch now. I can do help. I can create 4 files at the same time. Then hello .txt. You can see I can create 3 files at the same time now. Enter. Everything has been created like that. So if I say ls, then grep star, which means all .txt. I don't normally grep releases everything like this, so I don't know what's happening. Maybe there's a way I'm meant to type it. I'm not typing it well or so. Or let me say grep.txt instead of using a regular expression there. Just use .txt. It will show everything that ends with .txt. Can say .ovpn. It will show everything that works with .ovpn. So I guess star as a regular expression cannot be used alongside with grep because grep will do it automatically. Okay, I get the problem now. Grep will actually look for that character you specify in particular. You understand? I think what we are meant to do, the correct regular expression to look for a beginning of something with grep is this character. Where is it?
Okay.
That upper arrow. I think this is it. Use this up arrow dot ovpn. Oh shit, I've forgotten it, but you can make more research. You can search for how you can use grep with regular expressions. Sometimes you
Oh,
forget stuff. It's normal. I'm sorry. So what grep does is I don't think you really need to put in an actual character with it. Just write a piece of text. Then it will look for everything that has that piece of text in it. See .ovpn, it will bring everything that has .ovpn in it. See, for example, now, see the number of files that I have that bears untitled. So if I just do grep untitled, and to copy from your terminal, use Control Shift and C. If you use Control C, it will kill that terminal instance and start another. Look at the bottom of my screen. Control C, Control C is starting another instance. So if you want to copy something, use Control Shift and C after highlighting. So ls now, then grep. If you want to paste too, use Control Shift and V untitled. It will bring everything that has that word. So that's what grep does. When you're dealing with output from text files, a lot of times you use grep after a pipe character. That's how you use grep mostly. There are other ways you can use grep. You can use grep before a file if you want to find grep inside a particular file. But most times you use it after a pipe character. You pipe into grep. So we'll be looking at WC. WC means word count. Or yeah, let's just call it word. I think that's the full meaning of it. Word count. It looks for it counts for you. If I say, let's say this lab, this thing, green bug, kinikon, as yeah. I'm sorry, I talk like that sometimes. We can vex. Alpha. Okay, please, you guys give me like 10 minutes. I won't go off gen. Make una no vex. Nepa don't bring right. Can you give me like 3 minutes, please? Make una hold on, no vex.
All right. Before, let us wait for him to come back. Yeah. But for those of us that are finding it hard to maybe concentrate, or maybe there's distraction, or you don't have like the operating system installed on your machine, the video, the session is being streamed and is being recorded. So I would upload it and make sure that it's being sent to the group. Yes, and we also create a document about everything that was taught today, so you guys could have like a reference, and you can have something that you could actually go back to. Because I feel like getting everything all at once now wouldn't do justice to it, right? So we just have to handle that guy. So if
Thank you.
you have any questions, you can drop it on the chat. There was one I sent to the channel. So if there's anything you have any question, anything in particular relating to what we're doing here, you can always drop it on just drop it on your group, either on WhatsApp or here on Telegram. We'll do well to respond.
Hello, everyone. I humbly apologize. So NEPA brought light and we had to change to NEPA. I had to go off the chain. Is everyone still present?
Yes, we
Yeah, we
are.
can see it.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Please, what were we on again? We're into about to start WDWC command, which I said means word counts, right?
Yes, yes, we are about to start the VC
So I
command.
think I copied a file name. So what WC does is, let me do WC. Can see these numbers here. There are three numbers there. So there is 79, 122, then 2736. 79 is the number of lines. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. You know what? Let me do something sharp. Cuts, green, then sorry, let me do this sharp. Yeah, 79 means number of lines. 79 is the number of lines. 122 is the number of words in that text file. And 2736 is the number of bytes or characters. The way your computer measures text files in memory, the way it assigns memory to them is that per piece of character, you get 1 byte for it. So let's say inside your program now, you write a full stop. That full stop takes 1 byte. Letter A takes 1 byte. Space takes 1 byte. What a question mark takes 1 byte. Whatever character you put it in a text file takes 1 byte of space on your memory. So that's how your so you can say 2736 represents the number of characters or the number of bytes in that text file. That is how it is. So let's say you want to do, well, I don't really remember how that WC works. Let me see tag help. If you want to see the number of bytes, you use tag C. If you want to see the number of lines, you do tag C. If you want to see the number of words, tag W. So instead of saying the three at the same time, let's say you're looking for one particular thing now, cats, green, whatever that file is, then WC tag W. It will show you have 122 words in that file. Those are the number of single words separated by spaces. That's how your computer calculates that. Then tag C, it shows the number of bytes, which also means number of characters in that thing. Okay, yes, there's character counts and byte counts. So you see that they mean the same thing. WC tag C, which is byte count, is 2736. Tag M is also 2736, which is number of characters. Your computer classifies characters and bytes as the same thing. So we can see how we can measure lines, words, and characters in a text file. I hope we're good on that.
Yes, I think we're okay.
Yeah, if you're following, please, as you're practicing, try and document stuff too, so you can always go back to it. When we're done with the session, I will share some resources that we can use to check out, to learn more.
Please, I want to ask something.
Okay.
Like our Windows, when we delete,
Okay.
it will go to recycle bin. But at times, when
Yes.
you delete in some applications, it will still ask you that, do you really want to delete? Sure, do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Yes,
is
I
there any
understand.
kind of command that you can confirm that I really want to delete in
The thing is,
Linux?
in Linux, there are two command instances you can have. You can either be who you are, that instance. Quickly type this. Who am I?
Okay.
They brought your username on your Linux, Abi.
Yes.
So I think your question is more on, can you have restrictions on your terminal? Yes, you can. The thing is, your terminal will not allow you to do some things at all if you are logged in as your primary user. You get, for example, now, if I want to remove a sensitive file like etc/etc is where all your configuration files are kept on Linux.
Okay.
You see, permission denied. Permission denied. Permission denied. It will not let you. The only time it will allow you to do crazy stuff and just allow you go like that is when you become root. If you want to run this thing as root, a command as root, you use this word, this keyword, sudo. You can see that.
Okay.
For example, now I want to start my SSH server. I'll make sure we touch SSH now that this has come up, but we'll do that later. So if I do this, I need to be root to do this. So what we do is that sudo. Sudo is like telling you that, okay, I want to have privileges over this. You are requesting. Then your terminal will ask you to put in your password.
Okay.
Then you put in your password. Then, you understand? Now I've started the SSH service. The SSH is running now. If these things will still touch them, don't mind it. But you can see SSH open.
Okay.
So if I want to stop it also, I still need root privileges. Okay. But notice something now. Just look at it, and I'm running it. Do you notice something different in the stop process?
I've not noticed it.
Do you notice it did not ask me for password?
Yes, it's not asking for password.
Yes. Okay, that's one thing to take. That's one thing to take note of. This pseudo authentication now, I think 5 to 15 minutes. I've forgotten the exact time. Your terminal session stores that. Okay, you just run sudo. You don't need to type in your password while using sudo for like the next 15 minutes.
Okay.
So this is one security precaution you should take. This is why you should never, if you are not on your system, zero trust. Don't ever leave your laptop open. Okay, you want to quickly go and drink water. You close it. Because, for example, now, let's say as I ran this command, I ran to do something now. My terminal is open. Somebody can just run sudo ASAP because it won't ask for password authentication within that time. So take note of that.
Sensitive.
You understand? Yes. So that's how that works. But if you want to be the actual root user, you just do sudo su. Su means you want to log in as a user. Normally, let's say you have another user, another low privilege user. You just say su, let's say Kali, but there's no Kali user on my system. But
Oh,
sudo su makes you your actual root user. You understand? You see, you didn't ask me for password again before becoming root. Before you can see bug K at Kali. That's bug K user, a normal low privilege user. Then root. Now, this one will not now ask me for password again. I'm having a root terminal session. Anything I like, I can do. I can see my host configuration file. We'll touch this too. It will show me. Normally, okay, I can write into this. Normally, it will not allow me do some play with stuff like this. Vim, let me do that now. Let me write something here. Local hub. Normally, on a normal day, if I try to save this while I'm a normal user, it will not allow me. But because I'm root, it has allowed me. So that's how you like handle restrictions on your terminal. Linux is very crazy. It allows you to do anything you like. You know, there are
but
some things you can't do. Yeah?
I said I thought as much because I believe working with Linux is like you are working directly with the processor. So
Yes, yes. You have a
might do
lot
something
of
and everything like
power.
everything might go wrong
Yes.
by
You can,
deleting the wrong
when you are
system.
root, Linux will not ask you questions. You
Oh,
can delete your bootloader. You can delete anything in your system. So you need to be careful. Me, for instance, I don't really like having a full root terminal. I prefer to use sudo unless okay, I'm doing some like crazy configurations that I'll need to be root. You feel me?
okay, sir.
Yeah, that's good. So I think with handling text files, we've checked out everything here. WC, grep, tail, head, less. I think we've done this a little. So still on text handling text files, see this std in, d out, std error. Let's take a quick look at that. You remember like 10 minutes ago or so, we said the terminal takes inputs, it processes it and gives us output. And boss, I think it be like saying now only you can't deal with me. So it takes inputs, processes it, and gives you output. So what the thing is, when it takes in inputs, like there's what we call
Okay,
standard inputs, standard outputs, and standard error. This is a standard output now. This we wanted to cut out etc
okay,
slash host. It brought out the file contents for us. This now, RM cannot remove permission denied is classified as a standard
okay,
error.
okay,
Then a standard input is what you are inputting. So
okay,
inputs is classified with this command less than like inputs into what they are doing. For example, now I can do cat then this then slash etc slash host. You know what I'm doing now? I'm taking etc and host and inputting them into cats. Cats is taking them in
okay,
as data. You know, normally cats will do this, but now I'm saying, okay, you guys go into cats, then enter. It still means the same thing, but cats is taking this as standard input. Then to our terminal now, we're having standard outputs. And I want you
okay,
to take note of something. Standard output has a value of 1. I've forgotten how you check it, but please make research when we're done. It's been long I learned Linux. I've really not gone back to the basics in a while. I just get on my system and do stuff. So standard error has a value of 2. Just keep these two things in mind. It will come into
okay,
play now. So inputs, output now, we know it has a value of 1. If you want to outputs your standard output into a file. Okay? You feel me? Sometimes you want that standard output saved. Let's say you're using one kind of tool now to perform like a directory, a scan on
Let me
something, and
confirm
you want
one.
to
You said standard output has a value of 1. Which
yes,
one has the value of 2?
error. You remember we
Okay.
looked at standard error, which
Yes, yes.
is you remember that
What,
permission denied stuff that
what
we
of the
saw.
input? What of the input? What's the
Inputs.
value?
I think standard input has a value of 0. You know what? Let
Okay.
me quickly Google search value. Um, I'm sorry, I'm doing this.
No, no.
Let's see value of standard error on Linux. We should be able to. It should have a value called std in on Linux. 0. You can see
Okay. I can see it.
standard output as 1 and standard error as 2.
Okay. Standard
So
error has 2.
that's
Which have 1.
yes, standard
Input,
output as 1,
input
standard
has
input
0.
as 0. So that is how your terminal thinks of these things. There's a way you can even check how to check for standard error. I think this. Let's quickly take a look at it
Okay.
for everything. Like it will print out your last command and tell you the value. If you had an error, it will tell you 2. If you put in an input, it will tell you 0. Let's see if this will show it. You know what? This thing, just make your research. I'm very
It
sure you will
was.
find it. I'll drop resources when we're done. So now let's say we want to output our standard output to a file. What we do is something like this. Let's say I want to put all my Etsy hosts into a file. I'll just do cat Etsy slash hosts. Then this greater than sign, I'm telling you that, okay, the output, don't output it to my screen. This is where I want it to go to. Let's look for a file name, hosts.txt. You understand?
Yes.
So if you can say I wrote all the output to a file hosts.txt, instead of it to give me this normal output, it did not. It just wrote everything into hosts.txt. Let's check hosts.txt.
Okay.
You can see
Okay.
it
Everything
wrote
is
it
answered.
inside hosts.txt.
Okay. Okay.
So
Like you
yeah,
copy it and paste it in the
yes,
file. Indeed. Okay.
uh
In the
so
document.
yes, you know we didn't have to specify a number because it knows standard output has a value of 1. You don't need to
Okay.
specify 1, right? So let's look for a file that will give us standard error. There are some files that we don't have permissions to read unless we are hosts. The example is Etsy Shadow. Etsy Shadow is where your encrypted passwords are kept on Linux. Check it. Only root should have is owned by root, and only root should have read, writes, execute. It's not an executable file. Read and write privileges on Etsy Shadow. If your Etsy Shadow is readable by any other person other than root on your system, there's something wrong, and make sure you fix that. So if I
Okay.
cut Etsy Shadow, I will get an error. Permission denied. If I
Okay.
cut Etsy Shadow now into error.txt, it will not out. You can see that I still brought it to my screen because this arrow is telling it you're outputting standard output, not error. If you wanted to check for error, you put in the value of error before that arrow. So you put 2, this, then whatever error you get. You understand?
Okay. Okay. I'm with you.
Yeah. If I cut error.txt out, you can see I get permission denied.
Okay.
So that's how you undo standard output and standard error. There are some instances now that you will try to run a command. You get both standard output and standard input at the same time. Sorry, standard output and standard error at the same time. For example, if you are using find recursively on your system, You remember this slash? I called it our root directory. This file now, this directory that is here now, it means check everything on the file system. I remember there are some places on our file system that we don't have privileges to check. So we'll get standard error for that. But we'll also get standard output for stuff that we know where that we have privileges to check. So I want to check for everything that has .config in it on my system. That's what this slash means. Check the root directory down to everything. It will check everything recursively. But now I want standard output to be here. Then let me say config files, config.txt. Then I want error to go into error.txt again. Understand? Let's do this.
Okay.
You can see this arrow means take the normal output to config.txt. Then and arrow means take the error into error.txt. That's how your terminal handles
Okay.
it.
Okay.
So if
So you can now read it from the error.txt.
yes, the error will go into error.txt, though the error will be long. So let's just run head on it.
Okay.
You can see permission denied, permission denied, permission denied. But if I check config.txt, it will show me all the configuration files I have. Let me do head of that because there is always long too.
Okay.
Okay. Let me see. I don't think it's found anything. So all my configuration files are in places that I don't have permissions to check. If it actually found something, it will be in config.txt. So this is like a sharp plan you can use anytime you are looking for stuff. Put standard error. But a lot of times, you don't want to keep your error as a file now. Error should just go somewhere else. What you can do while handling stuff like that is just, there's a particular file called null. So into slash is in your slash dev folder. I think dev is where devices are or something. Yeah, dev is for devices slash null. This null file is called a black hole or something like that. Yeah, it's called a
What
black hole.
this dev null, it came with the original
Yes.
configuration, the default.
Yes,
Right?
yes. Null,
Okay.
yes, is a file, but it's called a black hole, meaning anything you write into it is lost. You don't have it again. I don't know how to say it. It doesn't save anything. It's just like
Right.
writing it to delete. So when
Just
you're
like
looking for stuff,
you are putting something in a waste bin. It's just go. Just
uh
discard it. Like you are discarding something.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, you remember when I was talking about regular expressions?
Regular expression.
Like I talked about star, and I
Yes,
used
yes.
all.
I remember
So
that you stated
star
that
will work.
star is for
Yeah,
all.
yeah. It will work in a situation like this. That's why it didn't work that time. That's why we didn't see anything in config.txt. I was meant to put that star. Star means because no file truly bears .config, but there are files that end with .config. Some configuration files end as that. So what we do is star means everything that bears. It means all .config. So you see it in action now. But instead of me getting permission denied, I'm writing all my error into slash dev slash null, which we call the black hole, stuff we cannot recover. That's how that works. So now you can see, I can see all my config files, xwrapper.config, setup.config, framecount.config. All these are configuration files. There are some .conf. You have, if not millions of configuration files on your operating system. So that's how that works. Handling standard error, standard inputs, and standard outputs. So we know the type character now.
Yes. You said the
So
type used to
mm,
the output you get from a previous command.
mm,
So
yes,
it will now process it in the next command.
yes,
So the pipe
yes.
showing that you
You
use
are
the
throwing
output of
data.
previous command.
Yes, yes, yes. That's how it works. So um, next one we want to do is okay, yes. If you do something like this, cat Remember, I think it's etc/host we're doing into somewhere post into host.txt. It's right into that,
Okay.
Abby. There's another command,
Okay.
echo. If you've written code before, echo hello world. This does like the way print works in other programming languages. That's how it works.
Okay.
So echo hello world, stuff like that. If I want to echo hello world into this host.txt, host.txt is holding my host files, the all my hosts websites
Yes.
that I
Yes.
have on
Yes.
my this thing. But if I do it now and I do it right into my hello world into hosts.txt and I cut out hosts.txt, you can see it's only hello world that is there. All the
Yes.
etc.host that I wrote inside, they've disappeared. So if I want to keep what is inside the file already, all I need to do is append instead of it that arrow overwriting everything again. See hello world already existing. If I want to do
Okay.
another line of hello world inside, let's say hello world exclamation mark, damn NEPA. So hello world exclamation mark. Then I'll just put a double arrow. It means append. Okay,
Okay.
there was a quote where a quote should not be. Okay, I didn't complete this. Sorry. Another thing. It's better use single quotes than double quotes on your terminal because some
Okay.
special characters will escape that thing. This one, just make research on it. But there's no much time left again. See, if I cut host.txt, you can say I have two lines. He wrote that second one. He didn't delete
Yes.
what I have
Okay.
there before. So that's when you
Okay.
use double arrow. If it's an error and you just wanted to like form another line under, use two, then double arrows. That's how that works.
Okay.
So T works like this arrow too, but it doesn't care whether what you do is standard output or standard error. It just writes to a file like that. So if I do echo hello world, then pipe into pipe will take the data. Then I say T
Mhm.
host.txt, then cut host.txt. Yeah, see, hello world.
Okay.
That works, Abby.
So what's the
So
function
that's
of
what
it?
T is what it took the output from this echo hello world,
Okay.
then wrote it to
To
t.txt.
the to
But the
TXT.
output is still showing in the terminal. You can
Oh,
see.
okay.
So it's not
Yes.
taking it as standard output. It's just taking it as a piece of text. It takes the output
Yes.
as a piece
Yes.
of text, drops it there.
Yes.
It doesn't know if it's standard output or standard error. It just writes it into
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Then let's talk about user management. Let's be quick on this because like there's still stuff we need to go through. Then I wanted us to try out challenges, but I don't think there's still much time. So let's just rush this. So, or should we just hop on the challenges, or you want me to complete this? Because you can check out this on your own. You can do this.
Okay. Okay.
Should we
The
hop on
challenge.
challenges?
The challenge is this under file permission?
Yeah, mostly dealing with files. Yeah, let's check it out.
Okay. Let's see. We don't have
Okay.
much time. We have 20 minutes.
Yeah. So yes, so I would like craft notes. I think this is recorded also, so you can also check it out while we're done. If there's anything you're missing, and you can hit me up. So if there's anything you need to, you can
Okay.
come here over the wire. They have a lot of challenges. I also drop other resources where you can learn hacking and pen testing stuff. But this bandit challenge is focused on the Linux challenges. Yeah, I said we'll talk about SSH.
Okay.
Yeah, SSH is a protocol. Is a network protocol, a network service where
Is it
you
is it
can
secure share? Is it secure
yes
share?
secure shell. Okay, you know what it is already, Abby.
No, I've read it somewhere before. I think it's
Yeah.
just like
Okay,
an
that's cool.
acronym.
Yes, secure shell. What it does is
I
you
can't
can
remember what it
the
really
shell
meant.
instance.
I thought
The shell
it has to
instance.
do with
Okay,
kernel.
you, shell like see the way you are me, I'm interacting with Shell now. You
Okay.
understand? Let's say somebody in Ghana now, a system administrator, I have problems or in my organization and I want him to look into my computer. He can SSH from where he is and have like a
Okay.
terminal instance of my computer,
Like
a
a
command line
remote.
interface. Yes, remotely, log in remotely. But instead
Okay.
of you
Is
seeing
it like
traffic and
what they
stuff,
call Telnet?
Telnet is the older, is a backdated version of it.
Okay, good.
Yes, so SSH is the more recent one. SSH is encrypted. Telnet
Okay. Okay.
is
Unlike
old.
Telnet.
Yeah, SSH by default runs on port 22,
Okay.
but it can
Okay.
also run on other ports if you strictly specify that. So what we're doing, I'd like you to play with SSH, set up an SSH server on your system and you SSH into it. You can download OpenSSH for Windows, then SSH into your Windows machine. But do that when we are done with this. So now we'll do SSH into this host. You know, the concept of websites or hosts, domain names.
I
They are
know,
basically IP
I know this
addresses.
IP address. I know for
Yeah,
every
domain name.
address, it's linked to an IP address.
Yes, and for example, now this bandits, the labs, the over the wire, it's just like an IP address. This is the actual IP address you can
Okay.
see. So if they want us to SSH into it, since they already have like their this thing hosted on and is on the global DNS server, we don't need to specify their IP address while SSHing. How you SSH is SSH, then a username. In this instance now, the user we're going to SSH as is bandit zero. Damn. Computer don't hang a minute. You can still see my screen, Abby.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay. In this instance is bandit zero at, you remember the host name? Then they are running on port 22220 instead of port 22. So if it's not SSH is not running on port 22 on your target, you need to specify which port the SSH is running on with the dash
Okay.
P option. So that, and the password for the first challenge is bandit zero. If you're on your computer, you can also check this out.
Okay.
Uh for okay. So the goal of this is for you to log into, okay, we've done this. Now if you want to go to level one, okay, you want to go to level one. Okay, you know what? You read out the challenges for me. I'm really having issues on my system don't hang.
It's not really clear.
No. It's actually hanging right now. You know what? You just hold on. Let me quickly restart.
Okay.
I sharply restart. I
All
hope
right.
this will not take long. We're low on time. Let's just see what we can do in 15 minutes. We'll check it out ASAP. Listen, be your name, boss. My password is 1234. Feel free to hack me, bro. So we're on over the wire, Abby.
Yes. Wildwire.org.
Yes. So we'll come to this. Let's SSH on our first instance, which was bandit 0 with a password of bandit 0. So the password of the next file is stored in a file called readme located in the home directory. So yes, we are in the home directory of bandit 0, and they said the password is in a file called readme. In this instance, what do we do?
Okay.
What do we do
So
here, bro?
we check, we read that particular
Yeah,
file. So we get
yeah,
the content. In the content,
yeah,
there's a way we read it. What was the command? I want to remember. The command is cat.
yeah. That's good.
I
That's
think
good.
it's
Thank
cat read meals.
you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cats, read me. Nice one,
Yes.
bro. So the password you are looking for is, you can see they've given us the password already.
Okay. Very
So how
good.
this works is, yeah, is base 64 encoded actually. I hope we'll get to that command where we'll talk about, there's a way you can encode stuff while you're sending data through long. We will reach that side, sha. So SSH, then the next level is bandit 1.
Okay.
So we use the password for bandit 1 that we got from the bandit 0 instance, paste it into here. Then that works. We're in bandit 1 already. So moving from bandit 1 to bandit 2, we'll read the password is stored in a file called dash. The name of the file, this thing is dash. So cat dash,
Okay.
right? Since the name
Yes.
of the file is dash. So let's see. This thing is going to be kind of slow. I don't know, the system is slow. I mean, our network, they cause some.
This was the
You know what? Let's not waste time. Cat is going to give us, this dash is going to give us an error, because if you remember, dash is used to specify options.
okay.
So what you
That
do in situations like this is you specify that, okay, this is where that file, you make your terminal look at that dash as an actual file. And the way you can do that is call the absolute part of that file, or sorry, the relative part of that file. You remember I said dots means the directory where you are.
okay. Okay. Yes.
So
And
we're
dot
saying
dot
move into our directory,
one
then
back.
slash means move further. Okay.
Okay.
Whatever comes after this slash is either a directory or a
Another
file.
one dot is the next file.
Yes, and so cat dot slash then dash, then you can see the file
Oh,
name is dash, but that dot and slash is used to specify the
okay.
relative parts. So let's exit again. That's our bandit 2 password. Okay. You can see we're bandit 2 already. We're moving to level 3. So how do we do that? It's stored in a file called spaces in this file name. The way your terminal looks at spaces is that if you call space between two words, it doesn't think of them as the same thing again. If I say, see now, ls cat spaces in, if I do this, this is an error because it
Okay.
thinks of spaces as one file and in as one file. See, cat spaces, no such file or directory. Cat
Okay.
in, no such file. So what you do in situations like this is put in quotes, preferably single quotes, because so if you put special characters like question mark or exclamation mark between stuff, it's it will cancel that word. There's a way your terminal looks at special characters like that if you put them in double quotes. So always be used to using single quotes in your terminal.
Okay.
So you can see if I put them in this thing in single quotes, I'll be able to cut it out. Another thing you can do is spaces, then do like this. These are called escape characters. Just this slash in this. It will escape characters means you should overlook whatever special character comes next as nothing. You should still join them together. So file name. If you do it this way, it will still show us the content of it. So when you're in a situation like this, a file has spaces in between them, and you want to specify that file, you put them in single quotes or you use escape characters. You grab am abi. So let's go for bandit 3. Then
I will
we're
need to
moving
go
to,
to you.
what do you say?
For me to get it very well, I will need to go through the video. so that you can do it
Okay,
step.
no error. No
Yeah.
error. No error. Alright. The password for the next level is stored in a hidden directory. We talked
Mm.
about hidden folders and directory. It's a hidden file in the in-here directory. We talk about in the hidden folders and directory if you remember, Abby.
Yes,
We said
yes.
it's in a directory called in here. So we've gone to in here, ls. We can't see it because it's hidden. There's an option for that. So we just do ls tag a to show everything that is hidden.
Okay, okay, okay. We didn't
So
talk
I
about
said,
it.
oh, I thought we did. I'm very sorry. So when a file starts with a dot as its first character, it will be hidden. You won't see it. So
Okay.
that's how you can see it. So now we've gotten our password for the next level. Then exit again. Then SSH, we're in level 4 already.
Okay. That is four.
Okay.
Hmm.
So um or going to level 5 now. So they said we should look for a file that is the only human readable file in that this thing.
Mhm.
Sorry, we didn't talk about the file command. File command is to know what kind of file you are dealing with. Because if you're on your
Okay.
Windows now, Windows
The
looks at
extension.
files based on file extensions. If you see .py, that's a Python file. If you see
Okay.
.txt, it's a
These
text
are
file. But
the
Linux
text.
does not act that way. Linux doesn't look at file extensions. It looks at
Okay.
files. It's what we call file signatures. File signatures are like hexadecimal values that are used to show, okay, this is what type of file it is. Linux does not care about file extensions. You can create a .txt file, but it's actually a Python file because Linux does
Okay.
not use file extensions to verify. You can go to
Okay.
Wikipedia. There's a database of all file signatures. It's something that you need to know if you want to deal with file upload vulnerabilities, but that's not like where we're looking into. So what we do is the file command. First of all, let's see all the files we have in that directory, ls cd into in here. So we want to check what file type everything is file. We can't just say dash because it will think we're specifying an option. So we need to specify the absolute part. The relative part. So let's put star because it's to look at everything that starts with dash file. So you can see everything data. There's only one that
Okay.
is ASCII text, which is file oh 07. So that's the only human readable file that we have.
Oh,
You can see the password for level 5. We have it here.
okay. So
Let's just do this. We'll be
it's
stopping
under
at
it's readable.
yes, it's human readable. ASCII means it has human readable text in it. Like whatever is written there is what's readable. Data is like maybe binary stuff. For example, if you have compiled code, it will not be
Okay.
human readable. Or your JPEG files, the text that is there is not human readable unless like you smuggle piece of text inside. Some people do that when they want to do malicious stuff, but like you will know that as time goes on. Okay, well, this is what we're using find command. The password is stored in a file somewhere in under the in-here directory and has the following properties: it's human readable, it has 1033 bytes in size,
Okay.
and is not
Second
executable.
execute.
Okay, so um
We are still on
we'll
level
do
6, right?
we're in 5 actually. We're going to level 6. And sorry, we'll be stopping here. You can look at the other challenges to make your research and solve them. Just don't
Oh,
worry, everything is about like making research. They're actually not hard. Learn Linux. I'll give you resources that you can use. So they said we should find a file. So what we'll do is type F. That's how you specify files. The option is dash type. Then F specifies you're looking for a file. And they said size, dash size is 1033 bytes.
byte. No, it's
And
more than 3.
okay, sorry,
What you go
1033 bytes. You specify bytes with a C, because bytes and
Okay.
characters are classified as the same thing, and they said
Okay.
what again, self is not executable. So when you want to say something is not executable, use this exclamation mark. If you code before, you know that exclamation in programming is used to specify that okay, not it's called a not operator or something like that. I'm not
Okay.
sure in a few languages. So you do dash exec. So what that exclamation is saying not, then dash executable. So we're saying it's not executable.
Okay. Not hesitate.
See the file here now. Maybe
Okay.
here, this is where that file is stored. So you can also do, instead of not slash executable, you can do not dash perm. Perm stands for permission, then slash
Okay.
111. So not dash, the thing is, permission of one, a value of one, is classified as an executable file.
Okay.
You need to make your research on Linux file permissions. This will make sense when you check that out.
Okay.
So we're
Okay.
checking the file permission for the owner, the group, and everyone, which is 111.
Okay.
If it
Okay.
meets that standard, that 111 does not meet, it shows
Okay.
that file. Okay, sorry. I used an equals to instead of a dash. So those are two ways you can do that. And we'll have to stop at this point. Sadly, I would have loved us to go further than this, but definitely this is just like we're going to meet some other time. So it's just goodbye for a while at this point.
We
We'll
have
be
done a good job. I must confess.
thank you, thank you. I appreciate. So there's room for questions now. Well, it could be on this, what we learned today, or anything related to cybersecurity or ethical hacking in general. Questions that you have, if you are just if you've just started out or you've started learning a few things, you can drop your questions. I'll be happy to answer. Any questions, please?
Okay. Oh, hey, the questions, but let me try to remember. Like, okay, when we are talking about cybersecurity, because the way the we
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you. I know they hear you, boss.
I think it's
Hello.
network.
but there's a
Okay. Wale,
yes,
I missed your what you were saying. The network went bad, so I'll need you to repeat your question.
okay, okay. When they talk about cybersecurity, I later discovered that there are some other there are some branches where the work you are supposed to do, there will be particular job functions. So
Yes.
that pen
Yes.
testing is
Okay.
majorly what, and how is it different from every other one? Because I believe that one is the major
Okay.
focus of most trainers.
Okay. Okay. Yes, that's true. A lot of cybersecurity professionals are penetration testers. Yes, a huge chunk of the cybersecurity space has penetration testers, are penetration testers. And what penetration testers do is they, like the word says, test. It tests infrastructure. It could be network, it could be applications, any digital facility of an organization. They can request for a penetration testing engagement that okay, come and test our stuff for vulnerabilities. It could be there's either a white box pen test. They don't give you as much information as an insider we have. Sorry, that's black box. Yeah, I think, or white box where they give you enough info. I think I'm mixing them at this point. Sorry,
Okay.
but penetration testing simply means like you performing like tests on infrastructure owned by an organization. You guys will talk. They will tell you will make a this thing a rule of engagement. Say, okay, this is what you're allowed to test. This is not what you're allowed to test. A lot of times, penetration tests take like between 1 week to 2 weeks. You pen test an organization, then you write your reports. Here's what I found. So it's like a very popular role in offensive security. There's also what you call red teaming. Red teaming is the part that is actually crazier. That one is like adversary emulation. They tell the organizations pay you to see how strong their defense is. This one is
Okay.
where you now move like the real hackers, the crazy ones. You use malware to test stuff. You do like crazy stuff. Those are red team engagements. Red team engagements can take 6 months, can take a year. They'll tell you, okay, this is what you want to know about an organization. Can you hack us this way? You understand? You behave like the real threat actors when you're on the red team
Okay.
engagement. So those are like the parts that are like based on offensive security. There's a lot of um sections in cybersecurity. There's blue team where you focus on defensive security, how you can defend organizations from threat actors.
Okay.
There's GRC, governance, risk, and compliance. You make sure like there is your company following industry standards or when it
Okay.
comes to cybersecurity. So it has even the legal
How,
parts.
how about which
Like,
one is cyber security engineer?
I think those ones are in charge of designing security policies for organizations.
Okay. Which one? A bit. I don't want to do too much programming. Which one of them doesn't really require much programming?
Okay, let's start like this. If there are hackers that cannot code, let's start with that one. They will tell you straight up that you don't need to know how to code as a hacker. But I'll not lie to you, bro. Hacking is like really competitive. If you are going to the technical part, you are not doing GRC, you are not doing stuff that is not too technical. You can say you don't want to know how to code, but nobody wants to hire the guy that cannot code. There are
Oh,
times that you need to like automate stuff. You understand? Even if you cannot really like write actual tools, write actual code, you should be able to script, like automate stuff with code. So you just need to, it's not everything that you will know that you will like. There are some things that will be crazy that you'll be like, I don't like this thing, but you still need to know it to be employable. They say like cybersecurity that or hacking in general that there is there is not enough um, workers. Like they are really looking for hackers everywhere, but they are not hiring people still because skill issue. You need to be very good before any organization will hire you. So anything, don't leave any stones unturned. Well, learn how to code still. So for me, from my own point of view, if you are going to be a hacker, whether you are doing defensive stuff, offensive stuff, you need to know how to code. It is necessary. Yes, you might
oh,
not do it every day. It might be once in a while. You can try to avoid it as much as you can, but you should be able to write code so that at least you should be able to do code review. Sometimes you see some websites, you look at their source code, and you'll be able to find vulnerabilities that, okay, this is where I can test. So knowing how to code makes the work easy for you.
okay. Oh, for that coding, I
Okay.
just want to know, is it most programming language that they use is Python, SQL, and which other one?
SQL. The thing is, it depends on what you're trying to achieve a lot of
Oh,
time.
okay.
If you are trying to automate stuff, Python, Bash is very good. Python or Bash. That's if you're on Linux. If you're on Windows, PowerShell is very good. If you are trying to automate stuff, if you are trying to write tools, Python is good. Go is very good. C sharp, C plus, it depends. If you want to write malware, you can use Go, you can use C plus plus. A lot of stuff that you can do with programming. No programming in language is useless. And SQL is more of a database querying language, not a programming language. Use it for
Is there any
querying
area?
data that
Is there
use
any area in
SQL.
cybersecurity that those visualization that they use
Data
in
Did
data analysis?
I really don't know much about when it comes to like data stuff, but I know that yes, AI is getting big in cybersecurity too. There's one stuff I've not even made my research about it. LLM, large language models. There's been attack surfaces for it now for applications that use it. There's how you can attack large language models. A lot of stuff. The thing is cybersecurity or hacking in general, no knowledge is useless. Anything you know about digital systems is going to work for you. You understand? So know as much as you can. It's like a journey. It's not a one day thing. It's not like, okay, I know how to code, I know how to hack. You can know how to hack, but that doesn't make you a hacker yet. It's the skills you've gathered over the years: system administration, coding, understanding operating systems, networking. A lot of skills that you need to have.
All right.
Does
Thank
anyone else have a question too? I think it's only Wally that is asking questions. I hope other people are present.
Um, so I just think I need to clarify. I think what
Okay.
Wale is trying to direct to is that if so for someone that doesn't really know anything about cybersecurity, yes, for somebody that is just starting out, like you want to kick your head inside the cybersecurity space, and you don't want to do, you're afraid of doing anything really technical. You understand? And that is just what people would say they want. But the deep down truth is that no matter what you want to still do, you must still do something very technical in cybersecurity. So to
Okay.
you now, what do you feel like is the right roadmap to follow to ease the pressure so that it's
If you
not
don't want to
going
do
to feel like,
technical
oh,
stuff,
yeah, not like you don't want to do technical stuff, but that's what you might think. But what's the
okay.
roadmap to ease the pressure and to not feel like as if you are doing too much technical thing, but you're actually taking it step by step? Because now there are so many
Okay.
resources outside that can
Okay.
overwhelm you.
Yes.
Do you understand? You
Yes.
start from somewhere and you stop, you start, you stop. Exactly.
Yes.
So that's the question.
I understand
Yes.
what you mean now. I think I understand better. So first of all, the thing is the technical rules that what we regard as technical rules in cybersecurity are very technical. Like you're not running away from anything. Everything is complete there. Because when you say you're a cybersecurity professional, your job is to protect systems from adversaries, from the bad guys. And trust me, these bad guys are not small boys. They are not joking. You will see one 14-year-old boy from Switzerland or from Russia that what he knows is not playing at all. So whatever you need to know it deep. So for the non-technical roles, I'm not really vast in that aspect. But one particular job role that I know that is very popular is a GRC analyst, governance, risk, and compliance. If you work in governance, risk, and compliance, you don't need to code, you don't need to know all those rubbish. All you need to know is global industry standards. For example, there's what they call PCI DSS, Payment Card Industry, is a global standard for credit card, debit card infrastructure on your application. If people use card to pay on your system, there's a particular security policy that your application needs to follow. Is your application following it? Is your organization following global standard? That's what GRC is about. I think there's a part that does with like legal stuff in cybersecurity. You can be a lawyer that specializes in cybersecurity stuff. But if you want to do something technical, like being a hacker, you understand, or being a forensic analyst or stuff like that. The thing is, there might be some stuff that you do not like and you will not know too much. You always have your weak points. For example, now someone like me too, I know to sabi code like that. I know sabi code. But there are sometimes that I'll need to do code review and check out stuff that, okay, where is the vulnerability in this source code? That is where research will take you far. And thank God, this is 2024. There's a lot of resources out there. You can talk to your guys, provided it's something, okay, you're trying to learn. You can, if it's not something confidential, you can put it out there. You can put me through on this. You get help. You can go on Twitter, Stack Overflow. There's many places where you can get help. We have Chat GPT, we have Google. There are sometimes that, okay, I need a script to do something. I'll just go and tell ChatGPT, write something for me. And I copy it and paste it. Although it might not work, but based on the little knowledge I have on programming now, I'll be able to edit it in a way that it will work. So, and there are some times that you just have to focus on your strengths, the stuff that you will like. There are some hackers out there that if they find cross-site scripting, a vulnerability in a website, that's their that's what they like. They will find it if it's vulnerable to cross-site scripting. There are some people that is how upgrade they like. So you just need to. You always have strengths and weaknesses. Build on your strengths and also build on your weaknesses. Those things you don't like, bro, you have to still know them. There will be stuff that will be like, what rubbish is this? This thing is too hard. There are some days you get frustrated like that, but now you still have to grind on it because if you really want to make it on this field, trust me, you are going to leave no stones unturned. You need to learn everything there is to know. Even the big guys in this industry that have been here for 20 years, they still learn stuff. New certifications will come out, they will still go for them. Nobody's playing. Trust me, there's no, it's a journey, Sha. It gets
Okay.
frustrating, I won't lie to you, but you just need to keep pushing that, okay, yes, this thing I go sabi am because now people they sabi am in the end.
Yes.
And you need to be good. You don't want to get hired by an organization finish now and you are not able to deliver. You don't want to be that guy. When opportunity
Yes.
comes, you want to be able to deliver. That's it. So just you have to keep building yourself. Everything a hacker needs to know, make sure you know it. Have fun learning. That's just it. Some days learning will not be sweet, but you still have to learn. Some days practicing will not be sweet, but you still have to do it. And rest. So you experience burnout. So if you are looking for a roadmap now to go into ethical hacking, I think before you start, the first thing is, I will not lie to you, learn how to code. Even if it's just one language, Python set no bad, Golang no bad, C, C++. Just learn how to code, learn operating systems, learn networking. Understand? Then you can
Okay.
start learning how you can hack stuff. There's this site, Try Hack Me.
Yes, I've seen before.
Yeah, TryHack Me has good stuff for beginners, very good. They have a junior penetration tester part or the complete beginner part. Those two parts are very good.
I've only
Check,
tried Cybrary. That's the one I tried.
it's a platform, sorry.
Yes,
Check
Cybrary.
check
I
out
think there
check
is,
out TryHack
there is
Me.
Hack Me, try Hack Me,
Yes,
Cybrary.
Hack
So I
the
choose
box.
February
Yeah,
then.
yeah. Check TryHack Me. There's
Okay, I got.
Pen Tester Academy. If you want to focus on web vulnerabilities, check out Portswigger Academy. Portswigger is crazy for web. Yes, if you want to know web stuff, Hack the Box too is very good when it comes to
Port
pen
Sugar.
test. Yeah, Portswigger. I'll paste all these stuffs on the channel
Okay.
later tonight or maybe tomorrow morning. And play CTFs. Yes, that was how I started out too. Capture the flag challenges. Yes.
So,
You've heard of
pardon?
capture the flag challenges.
I've not done.
Okay, different platforms. TryHackMe does it. Hack the Box does it. Where they put vulnerable labs that you can hack. They give you an IP address and you hack those machines. So you can check that out. It's a good way for you to like test your skills instead of you going to go and do illegal things up and down and they'll catch you. You understand? So you can
Okay.
test yourself with capture the flag challenges, stuff like that. A lot of things that you can do with your as you learn. This you will see, go on YouTube, go on GitHub, go on places, see what people have done, make your own research about it, learn and take notes of things you learn. When you learn something, document it, put screenshots. Like there are many note taking tools I can try. Just keep grinding like every day. Trust me, if you start now, the next 6 months you might not get a job, you might not get money from it, but you will improve like mad. In the next 1 year, you get better. If you can follow this thing and stick to it for 3 years, brother, trust me, you actually get there in this field. But it's not going to be easy. It's frustrating. You won't like it every day. You just need to grind. Bomb like say you get three picking. I'm saying I just tell you be that. That's how it is, yeah.
Thank you very much. But
Yeah,
it's a
nice one,
good
Wale.
start.
Uh, yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. It's been nice chilling with you guys. We're learning together. It's really nice.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
squeezing out your time to come to, I myself as well actually learned a lot.
that's
Yeah,
I'm
that
happy
thing.
to hear that. My boss, my idolo.
Ah, I still learn everything inside. And to for everybody's notice, the innovation engine is not just stopping at cybersecurity as well. So that's the reason why we're putting all the entire package in one. So we are going to focus more on cybersecurity, programming, UI UX design, and stuff that needs to do with the entire thing that basically what the IT holds, right? It could also be in a space of what's the word again? Computer architecture and all those things, just to equip us in, because with the way everything is moving like this now, we're going to that techie part where if you are not catching the train, you'll be left behind, right? So this is just like a way to just ease everybody up to say that cybersecurity, programming, anything, at innovation engine, everything is being covered. So if you last month we held one, and the first one again we held relating to programming. So I don't know how the next plan will be, but as soon as possible, will always update you guys on the group. So it was super nice to have you all here, and I really hope that we actually got one or two, because in this session, if you didn't really get it, even by despite the fact of watching, at least something should stick, right? But nonetheless, the recording will be posted, and there will be like a documentation sent to the group so you could go back to refer as much as possible. These tools and skills that we would learn is not something that's, because some people might see it as, oh, it's free and all, because but the thing here is that what we've actually learned today, there are some people that are paying way bigger money to actually just learn bits of it. But you understand, so that's why we have to take things like this so very precious. So we'll work, and whatever roadmap will come next, we'll update you guys on the group. So I think this is the end for today's practice and training. It's so good to have all of you here once again. And obviously, sharp, we're going to host another one relating to either cybersecurity programming, or people that are also involved in UI UX design. So, and it's so good to have you all here once again. Have a good night, and that's all for the call. And you can all leave the channel.
Thank you. Good night.